offer that is theory. We also offer them practical where they go for clinical rotation and attachments.
Mitihani yao wanaifanya na NITA pamoja na TVET CDSC. Usajili unaendelea. Wapigie simu kwa nambari 0718570605 au 0718171944 au watembelee kwa mitandao ya kijamii, email careling.institute@gmail.com, Facebook Careling College of Medical Science and Technology Training.
Tunawakaribisha nyinyi nyote mkuje katika shule yetu ya Careling College of Medical Science and Technology Training.
Careling College of Medical Science and Technology Training. Healthy education is the key to life.
Karibu Harken Academy Kisii, shule ya kisasa ya bweni na kutwa kwa wavulana na wasichana inayopeana masomo ya CBC kuanzia preschool, primary na junior secondary. Iko na mazingira matulivu, walimu waliohitimu na wa kutosha, maktaba ya kisasa, mahabara ya kompyuta na sayansi, madarasa na mabweni ya kisasa, mahali pa wanafunzi kujifurahisha na pia wanakuza talanta na kutia fora katika michezo mbalimbali. Vile vile wana usafiri wa kutosha. Kupata nafasi ya mwanao, watembelee Riatwenya, kilomita 2 kutoka mji wa Kisii, barabara ya Kisii Marani, au piga simu nambari 0755331318. Harken Academy, the future is here.
Ne nobwate ebiasara gusemega uraganie tukubikirira itangazo ebene sukuru, eduka, inyagitari, inyangi gose amatanga vono na bugutwakira esimi ase namba inoti sana ibere isato isano isato 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 inoti enoti kumanya mange mono na buigona bogo tutarira asensemo ya Nyamataro Itaya House mwensi twabariganirie.
Itaya TV Omurabu Wagusi.
Buya kigima mwanchu muri beta television and on sia soberete and nigo twigire jinga kiri wantu gatwatware ngambo yaitu lituko liarero Monday binga Monday kugatwatware ngambo kigima kumachikuba asensemo yage siasa ose kumachikubitere na tokore siasa sintokwana geko gana litukolera na twanya odinene na Kevin Mosomi umedeno muinjiristi ando mwana siasa ale ono nakengana tumira nasimambia boni gatwa kwana abera atatu inde twarora ngaki ense kogenda asensemo in terms of budget Korea amakasete abtu asomira mangana makongusana aliagenda temperature zinjiro imdumbi ganda de vinge sana kuna wengine wanateuliwa ndio batana akiona akapocho ngakibya koruga na bono idodiga na chote fantapa kwabona ngari kwana wano mosai lakini ningo gatutuburania yo asimambi yabone kabana nchukuru bono bakachikura gachinsa inye chiabono mambia we have some few minutes kwa chile saa 3:15 simambia bono oikira hata mapema sana anakira chile mapema etoko mwali baga atokwani kodide ayenga kyoro che siasa agenda dora kwa ndegoro ya youth youth bodies and development na kiuroji no mwaka oyo matutukere tiga tosobo jor mete atwaringe 2025 do adebina umwaka ojirwe meronge ne sana ibiri akone to adeba umwaka onde that's how fun the calendar is ibo mwaka onde kokora robo chori toko chora bara ikuruwe msie akobo president je wewe uko tayari na kiuroji nsegende draboto tevia semambi ya boniga ekuereneri ta TV obrabu bwagusi kaba mona intwe mbako moelio umwanchu murigeria kevo
yes buyamona sana wakire buya
nsa utwanjire onorende tigatote
kabisa
ngakikwa
twabokire
it's happy new year turanyora nage so mwako chage
ngabona ko mena ni na ndendo chembu yole kabuso mwako yo no moronge
Yeke kwari liwa dara biyani
omanye tara muri muntu ngakore
oh that's nice
no nyankuru ime agungo kwa naboko yumuntu na bate chinguru gete
awasara bate ni bwate chinguru bata kujirire na winning of manu ati abate no ekero bwate moyo wo kore meremo kila kitu na panga
sawa true
ekero bogete satu bokiri that's right
okay man
how was ngiki mwaka wa jakiri by the
mwaka twanyongere buya and we have big hopes inganya sango tokonyaro mwako yoiga no nyenye temperature cha siasa kiriwa ante wana toko ya mwa tumetenganya saa is even above politics so we are hoping as you even approaching the general election kiringa kabesmo
that's right wani mwanchu muri wanya kwa chinjiria marieta na rojaria you can say hi to some kids
mbiya mano abarigiriri once pi beta ya TV na monota kusawanto once pi roro kongoro itorwa gusi once pi mure ebe Kenya ebe chinse chia maiko bya mano soga choregita seni yeta ya TV wana mambi na wanja gwisaransa erinde tunyara gosemania asa mereza nkoro ku Kevin Mosomi chomora baba sa county ya Kisi na ndenta tutware igikaro kyoko semania wana mambi bya mano sana asante nikiro chinsegenderete chenda likiro kuranye few development mwana siasa mwana basa bona toje kyo seti place nikiro je in secondary ense Brighton toka tawangambi here you know oisukori rinering a political heat ya temperature ya chire igwa you know onya konya ya renge 18 degrees Celsius ona ya jire 28 degrees Celsius but again at the same time you understanding now when we are approaching to the political season onya na magandro na wako ngelo koreka you know because the politicians they are funny and they know how to play this game ona ganto chitora Makori kako ngakoro sigu Tachatorore bitacha biko ngakoro sigu you know I'm not talking from the lower level Tachatorore birasi BACD biko sigu chibasa ribono tachatorora abantu bakwenana you know TV and there so nekan you know all those stuff bomayango all those things you get so as much as the temperature politically rigoro we are hoping in these leaders they are much now into aligning themselves servant very ground because it's just by the way if you remove the weekends and holidays it's even less 1 year so
kama
gendonaro Brighton magendonaro
kirota ba kefuna magendonaro area magendra genuine development usage magendra ku people
omanya the one of Brighton again to understand it about development akara kwa rasirie kelasi ekara kwa rasirie within ECD class you know it is for generations I think so as much as politicians might do it hypocritically you know working you know we are being hypocritical but at the same time benefit kero mwananchi but your question is good amagandro genuine or amagandro ona alintori konyoroka genuine ntori konyoroka magandro genuine alibona to konyoro it's like seduction ngora nguri muntu gochi kareri muntu gochi kwago muiseke buikabwebeke buya you know osabana na around you beke you know omongaine bintu getamanye kwanje so this is what they are doing ngaino mwananchi you know we are still the leaders we can still do development but they are doing it to buy the vote you
given because they had been trending issues yesterday and we can go on to discuss discussed one by one. Maybe we can start from Kisii County. Yesterday we had Linda Ground. Yeah, ODM. I think even if we were busy at church, on Sunday. But apart from being judged the whole day, we could require a brief because you are a politician. Then I think county Kericho is Jonathan. He's a pastor. Sometimes but at the time too pastor again they being a politician at the same time in the ground and it has been going round.
Sure.
Implication
of course, I followed it, by the way. You know, as much as we are still spiritual leaders, we still have a role to play in the community. So we need to get some of these updates. And to me, Brighton, honestly, the so-called thing, Linda ground, to me, it's a waste of time. Which ground you know, they have been in existence for more than 20 years. You know, a ground, so which means they still have fears. They are not legit on the ground. So that's why they are trying to lean the ground. Let me, Brighton, I think in a good way. When we talk about Kulinda ground, you know, it could be so happy a kerekero monto or ODM ara sokate nanga we are now as a team tunalinda ground, but not divisive politics. So we are seeing abande marengeka wangwara abande wanalinda ground. So which ground are we lindering now? Hakuna ground tunalinda.
Lakini gefika tuende to discuss yesterday the party leader Oburu Odinga was in Kisii. The Secretary General was in another side. Iko meaning ina ground again
to carry thing a ground in a different and I still believe in ODM ground in a different. So these people, they are trying to secure, let me call it the bedroom, the Nyanza region bedroom, the late Mzee Raila Odinga, but it will be messy for them. Because the security can take Brighton much into self-interest, you know. They have already decided. You see? Chairperson, party leader, deputy party leader, then what is the need for the NDC? You see? And then now you get raise more questions. So if we have already made a decision, we already have leaders. Which ground to current? You know, which ground to current? So I can tell you this for free. The people that Vanalinda ground, then honestly, now from the other side, the likes of Sifuna, the likes of Babuino and the rest, they are the same people who have the genuine cry to that person. Or remember your ODM.
Why do you say so? Because in any political party, we have the structure, we have the party leader, we have party leader. Now, when you say about Bab, Bab tabu at the end position at the party. It's going to win Odinga, tabu at the end position at the party. But these people are in K summit. They are leaders of the party, apart from Osos Timoroji, Sifuna Timoroji, Nehero Talengo, because nobody as a party. Maybe they had a goodwill, Mombasa, because of distance, maybe they had. But yesterday, at the same time, a section of UDA, they attended the function. He attended the function, and they were asked by now, it's broad-based. They are not Bargochi or Vild candidate for gubernatorial seat. Still, the ODM is in still government. What's your take on that?
The people are doing what we call a politically. You know, people are doing calculations really. And when as UDA, they are not going to field a candidate, UDA from Kisii, it is good. Because every political party, I think, at the end of the day, it will form a coalition. Correct. That's why we are seeing these things in UDA, ODM, broad-based, and by the way, Brighton, we'll be seeing more of these coalitions coming up. At the end of the day, we'll be even seeing many political parties coming up. You get? So at the end of the day, it is not going to be about the interest of a few opinion leaders in a political party, but it will be a view of Keromondo or Kuru ideas. So what happened yesterday to me, it was not really genuine. When we talk about leadership in the party and others were somewhere different, then it means number one, that's not a united party. Number two, you know, honestly, Brighton, you get? And the same people, they still say, and why is it sarcastic in a way? When you call somebody at 8 years a youth leader, you know, at 8 years a youth leader of, you know, to me it doesn't make sense. So what this other team is doing, it is reflecting a slogan here, we are the leaders of today, we are not the leaders of tomorrow. So our tomorrow we can and the Brighton are very in leadership for long. They will not leave these positions, and we will not sit down with let us wait for them to do what to get out of office or to get out of these positions. We must fight as young people. We must cry. We must shout for us to get a chance, and that is what is happening. In Brighton, poor leadership is very rough for a year. Very in leadership for more than 50 years. What does this person understand? Compared to no monto, or maninga refresh, monto what ideas refresh, monto what exposure, monto what, you know, trending things, rather than Kobeko Monto or Tari exposed in any way. You get? So to me, the other team is really doing good. It's really doing good when it is fighting. It is not fight, but we fight for themselves. They are fighting for the generation.
That's very nice, because we go like in the ground area in Kisi. But we have seen they were in Kisumu. Yesterday they were in Kisi, and maybe they're planning for other meetings somewhere. Lakini tuaraba antubagocha abange sana. Can you say that dina banta bachi ta bangi na ngwaro jibalenge summit. Do you think that dina banta bachi de bama thingira bari bakora, because the party leader is there, the deputy party is na German person. Does this mean that bari bachi ta? You know, it's already in times in a political season kilo mondata te kwero ku maarufu hai. You get? For Simba to bargain for any leadership position in ODM, we karo kinangaki nari capable for it. You get? And by that, I wanted to congratulate our governor Simba. He's really doing so good. He has shown the world he can take ODM party to another level. And by the way, if that NDC can be called today, then honestly, from Kisi, I'll stand saying, let Oburu rest. And let Simbarati take the leaders, the ODM party leader, because he has shown it. There is nobody who can mobilize such a crowd. But again, I ask myself this question. We have grade 10 students in school by then. You get? We have hospitals. Then where do we get these funds to mobilize such huge crowds? And yet we are in a mess as a country. That's where the question comes from. So where does this fund come from? Is it from the broad-based government or from ODM? And we believe it cannot come from ODM because ODM is broke. Regardless of where maybe the funds,
that's what we are saying. Mobilization has power, money has power. You've given me 1 hour, as much as you'll be surprised. So Brighton, people are hungry. People can be mobilized. They will come because they have nothing to do.
And Oburu Odinga, he said that Barabari Commission about Valibons for ODM, they put together. Agadana on the Tayo, Bogoseri Bogasebat. Because Mokoro Mokutan with the SG, Nindi Nabonga Mokutano, you get a senior or some institutions in Nini, Takitara or Kanasimi, Tani. Like you know, Odinga, whatever, they are ready. to accommodate them and though moto yose kurwa sympathy. Why can't those people bache? In my view, bache so that they can build the party together.
Brighton, I think political parties, they are not our personal properties.
Okay,
Kiama kende yonsi, kiri egento kiumonto personally. Kiama kere kiama nkebate constitution ya ekonyaran. Kere kiama nkebate terms and conditions to apply. By the way, at which point did Oburu Odinga become the party leader of ODM? Does the ODM constitution indicate that when the party leader dies, the brother takes charge as the party leader? Then, in other words, it's being personalized. So there is no way these people can trust any word coming from that man because he's not holding that office constitutionally. Yes.
What can you say about broad-based government? Because it's shown this Oburu Odinga team.
Broad-based government, according to my view, is just let me say a token to some few people, to get positions and to get money and to get what have you. But to me, broad-based government, it is not beneficial to the common man. It is beneficial to a few people with self-interest.
Sometimes you see the dinner, the broad-based in the country. Do you agree?
Not at all. Not at all. Let me tell you, Brighton, when even we don't have development, Marembe, it's not about Wakana, Marembe, it's not about Koramana, Naboko Marembe, Ekrota Wativa Sayoguchkora, Echumbi. Naboko Marembe, Ekrota Wativa Sogochuakana Mano school fees. You get? So what do we call Marembe? You see, so to me, broad-based government, as I said earlier, it came to just benefit few people, and of which they are benefiting, by the way. But look at the common man, Brighton. Look at the common man. But to date, one on the Wednesday school, and then we go everywhere, we shout. And I'm happy, by the way, if we could add people with clear minds and minds joke on mwananchi. Look at constituencies like Kiharu, the likes of Ndindi Nyoro, what they are doing. Look at some other people, young members of parliament, what they have begun to imitate from Nyoro, you see. But others, they are just singing, we were left in the broad-based government. When they stand on podiums, Baba left us on broad-based government. That is the agenda they are selling, you see. But the common mananchi is really struggling. The common mananchi is in tear. Why? Because what leaders are selling now, development, broad-based government.
Okay. Joshua, before that, the standard or about what happened yesterday, President stopped this. That was the headline. But Joshua to make it because I have a youth reader in the house. I'm beginning to say the People Daily, Joshua. If you can get it, you can put up because to arana abasahembaro. Avakare People Daily, here as a screen. If you can be able and then you can share the link because now the link you can share. I need to send you a YouTube one so that you can share. Can I know what Abasani Kurwalia, Chisco, Chiskalia? I'm just trying to send you YouTube and then you share. I was talking to Jury when they youth. Bono mambe kuma jubli no tona ke vas just hold it netika aya babu shows there's no problem, there's no harm kana to ju kwanda kero ke phone to share some up yes you have said you Facebook and but YouTube you can share coach asika set ya People Daily asemambi ya boniga niyo tena young bold and battle ready and taking Ruto head on. Toma konyorana ndubwate Ndidi Nyoro tukatwara Edwin Sifuna tukatwara sote nara bokoro ku somebody njeri aina tukatwara Mohamed Hadi Babu Wino tukatwara Kareba Misi tukatwara Anthony Kibagendi and some mpaka Peter Salazia. Why do you think that ina bona basahaba na baroje problem in Kenya?
Of course, we believe in the future. We believe in the future and we are the future. And by the way, let me take Brighton.
Yes.
These people, they are the saviors of this country,
They are going to save the country.
They are going to save the country. You know,
are you sure?
Whether they will work with the Ruto, whether they will not work with the Ruto, they are going to save this country. Because honestly, when you even listen to the kind of issues they raise, they are very genuine. You know, look at, I mean, if you look at those constituencies, where those people come from, you know, you can really tell there is a difference, and and there is work that is being done in that place.
Can you say that Edwin Sifuna has done something, Nairobi?
Of course, he has done something. Let me tell you, the work of the senator, it is to oversight. And Sifuna has done his work, by the way, perfectly. You know, look at even the committees that I am a member in any committee. The kind of questions he raises, the kind of issues he raises, they are very genuine. Yeah. The same as, look at Mobungo Ito from Kisi, we are proud of Kibagendi. You get?
But people are crying that
who is crying?
Some people.
Maybe opposition, you know, politics. People have to cry. You know? Let me tell you, Brighton. Honestly, you can't do everything just remote yoke. You know, if you look at those people, look at Nyoro, look at Sifuna, look at Babu, look at Ali, look at Caleb, all those people, look at Selassie, you get, you realizing that these are people that have done something from their constituencies. Even if they are serving as first MPs. Look at Selassie. As much as he's making noise, but to the ground, things are working out good.
But now you're saying that these people have worked better than the good. Because from the government.
Resources, they come, of course, from the government. It's only that we have some leaders who are squandering everything, even in Gribu colleagues. I think Uncle Wood.
Ndama ingi wata begera Gribu zaire nkoko ya kitutu masaba.
No, it's special.
Maybe because of yeah.
But then Brighton, let's call a spade a spade. Nto basa kumnena na mtu ngaba Kenya. Nto basa kuira kiringa mtu kebe political. You know. Yeah. If this country will not be keen enough, you know, and by the way, at the end of the day, do you know even things can change upside down? You get? You know, it is not about having about having a different president, by the way. It is not having a different president. Right now, we don't need a different president. Right now, we need a system that works.
But there's things that I think there were two, or even not two, they were. Yeah, by the way,
at the end of the day, by the Brighton International realized in politics, especially with the youth, because we are talking about youth politics and development. By the way, we even don't need to change the president. Realistically, to let us say the truth. Let me tell you why. Because if you go with this narrative, we change, it will be just changing. Of course, it's our constitutional right, you know. But what needs to be changed in this country, it is the system. So we need to begin from the National Assembly. This is where people get compromised. This is where, you know, laws are being made. This is where everything is being amended. You get? So if we have to abantu among our sharp, abantu batari kaba compromised, abantu batari kwirigeri barabuka, but babati view yomwananchi, at the end of the day, they will make a system run better. So what am I trying to say? If we need to change anything, we need to begin it. If we begin it from here, even does
does it mean that you have to go in a parliament?
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'm not a privilege to interact with some of these young members of parliament. Do you know Montago what they've been at Makori is not nearly swear for even 1 month. My care work. You get?
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, Montago Tebanga na rigiri sana kwa nige for almost 1 month. but Mike anete wakaraki tini kanya opportunity ne ya Mike ana wakaraki kobe kukon so there is still compromising color still you know when power is everything you know, and you cannot joke with power you see, so that's why when it fails to be done in the house they come out publicly saying this needs to be done this way, this needs to be done this way. If we are not heard in the house, then let us tell the public what's happening.
Pesa ni kwamba kuwekana maria sawa mwanju mudini gotandete koba na David Mosomi asimambia boniga katokwa ndego ya mangana youth projects and development asimambia boniga tuna changanwa kidogo tazugura lino ya magaseto aranga kero bulitego na budu tumekerengeli kia kurenganera tena abasae it's their time ndio ndebuna mambi haya is now time. They should stand up and back on the window. We are saying about youth projects and development. Aba sa emba so get last year but one. It was 2024. Miaka ya mnyo kirisana. About GNCC go meaning in a 2025 GNCC mbasoget. Ba kenyegete. Lakini obsine mara iwenza already some programs. Ejibona chiko entice ya basa. Does it mean that they na Bora basaiba konye kile waruri kuna nyota kuna programs zingine why is it that they basaiba kwa baisiri
Brighton was Ambereva. Okay. And by the way, I want to thank Brighton Kilomontoro Malaita Kiregentora Korekebe Bireviana Vinovia. And honestly, the Nyota program Konyara Masaya Wangasana, you know, let us talk Panekeman and our it's not a government project, I don't know, World Bank project, whatever. But Konyere, so many people. And I want to call this by the way. The youth from Kisa are really crying because Wakairuchi training, Wakairunini, and their batch was to come after Kakamega, but unfortunately they are not on the list, so we don't know when. No.
Why do you think so?
I think there is a political game to me. That's what I think, because they were supposed to get their patch after Kakamega, you know, but now and if you look at the list, Chigo come up, Kisi is not in the picture, you see. So I want really to talk to His Excellency the President. You know, abagosimba mwagrezi chikura chinyinge sana. You want to tell a word of some of these few political leaders from our region. You know, to feel that pinch and pressure. Let this money be released. Anyway, I wanted to say this program as much as it cover politicized, but I was sharing with some group from Kakamega, and they received, I think 22,000, 22,000 shillings. And I'm telling you, these 22,000 shillings in 3 weeks. Nanyari kugura chingoko, and the chingoko erenga almost 22, by the way, almost 22. And you know the way this young man was expressing the idea he has and that project. I saw it as something so big. But so you see, so what's happening? The president is still, you know, exercising his duties, you know, not politics, but he's exercising his duties as the head of the state. So this Nyata program should really get out of politics. And the moment they go out of politics, even our region, our young people from Kisi will benefit. But again, there are these leaders, you know, everywhere, no. Right now, we are still not in the general election. So I want to urge the president, any project anything but the Nyota program
but whatever but you have seen many leaders supporting the government from the regions clearly also over the number of those people supporting the government I wasn't an into leader youth.
Brighton by the you know, they have guarded this place. But again, Brighton, what is guarding the place? like again the codium akoranga linda
ground, yes.
You know, maybe abantu abaye his excellency nga tunalinda ground, but Brighton ni ground gani munalinda kama amuchukui maslahi ya wananchi wa hiyo ground? You know, so what we need to do ni kupeleka maslahi ya wananchi kwa rais. Hapo ndo tukakuwa tunafanya nini? Tunalinda ground vizuri. Kwa hivyo hizi vitu wanafanya ni asingencho ya wovoka as a person, you know, self-interest, to get money, to get fame, you know, to get maybe a ticket in the next coming election. So they are fighting for themselves, but they are not fighting for the mwananchi.
Some people about this one way, kutuliza Abasai. Do you agree?
I don't agree, because in this age or in this season, now I'm number one very exposed. Now I'm number two very informed. So there is no pointing or a check ngaina ngasoko mwa 22,000. I mean, that is some petty cash, let me call it. It was chinke sana. Chukona bononga Brighton kwa hilo mondo 22,000. Umuntu graduate wa degree ya very school for that years. Nki 22,000 kila nyane kumwachenje virengera. So
umuntu yomwe ega sina bagonya 22,000 per month.
Umuntu yomwe ega sina bagonya 22,000 per month. And by the way, kai quality school ka graduate bado 22,000 yiri na bakwe manage na nera ngega sia era nara kumwachi wa at the end of the day. So yentekiga ngeti go chiko compromise Mosai on the west. Yentekiga ngeti go chiko cause anything politically. At the end of the day, this is what the young people have been fighting for. You know, if there are no job opportunities, then give us ways on how we can create self-employment. And this is what the government has done. You know, ya ruli kilia renanga ki ntoko nyara kulika kena Mosai, ntoko nyara kwa kero Montegas. But what we can do, the ango tosu make gesini na yokareki wekonya. So in Keminethinga, it will now change my mind to vote to somebody else. You see, one have to achieve back to the handouts thing. So this is not about handouts. This is about development and empowerment.
Buyasana nindoje barna basketball southern korodoa Katal watching Protix Brighton Mosomi said me Mosomi. Gooden ya kuna watching live from Nyacheki Sugubo. According to me, we cannot reach Singapore if our leaders will cabinet corruption to tafika mbali. But the shida ni moja. There were shida ni moja, every sector of government, they are stealing our taxes and our resources. For example, you find governor ameipa 50 million, akifikishwa mahakamani anatoa bondi ya shilingi milioni 5, meaning amebaki na shilingi 45 million. Osaka kweli kweli. Then my question, ni nani akona probity at the end of the day, ama ni mimi sielewi hesabu. Au the wana mgabana wako iba 50 million kaliwe bond ya 50. Or 5, we go to get 45. Wana kwa the profit. Kulingana na Wooden Nyakundi. Zulambaya losari that are watching live from Mosobed Machoge Burabusho Ikopoa. Mwiwa Erikiokali watching live from Machakos University Santi. Mwiwa Erikiokali na area then as the youth leader of the United Refuge Alliance UFA Kenya. This County chapter, I fully agree with Honorable Mosomi, understanding solidarity with my fellow youths who are committed to bring positive change in our society. I strongly support young people who have proudly stepped forward to fight for various political positions. This is a clear demonstration that we are not only the leaders of tomorrow, but the leaders of today. Our time is now. Our time is what? Is now. Jackson Brown, then I agree with Kevin Mosomi, msalimie sana. Na muite kila siku. Anasema kwamba unakuja kila siku.
Asante.
Anasema tukuite kila siku. Asante kigima abungati ya wale wanda tutumaji SMS hizo. Mujabo. Mwajimu na bago tume SMS ya withdraw number 0735-333-000. Bagana bago ya withdraw jibrato mzito cha Facebook weta TV. Usi YouTube weta TV. Karatu wanda kwenye kuchangara mawili matatu. Kevin yako tukotika na yo. But ndarati kana haya. Why now? Mga ibwensa koleta a program ya nyota when we are nearing to a generation according to you. Why now? Because udware myaka obisiga na deba basa na ba ko mirimo ya affordable housing na ba ko asiga nyine nini na already na nyota then we are good to go. Then hao wengine hawana plan, wamewapea nini hiyo ndio option. Sasa anasema hiyo plan namna gani hiyo na yakora kwa nani? Why now?
To me, why now? Number one, it is political, of course. You know, it is very political. And Brighton last week na renda na Makori. And kamero mogata geto muikoyo mogatsana ante vigento kianza meti lesson. Ante vinga. To ragera ko bendagera roro. Ragera ko orenja. Na ndora abenja limo for 24 hours. So what does it mean? Number one, tokora magenderero okoba ebe soira ororo kora magenderero okoba njaringe mipango yawe okora magenderero. You get? So what's happening when it comes to this Nyota program? If you look it from the political view, so it's one way you get. But at the same time, political, but political beneficial someone. So now program politically, but at the end of the day, it's empowerment. You get? Yeah. So as much as it can be political, at the same time, it can give out a different result. But why this time and not previous? In a position, let me say it's just it's politics. So this thing do you think that it can change mind? It cannot, because the youth of Kenya right now, as I said earlier, now and are exposed. They are not going to be bought with anything, even if you give them millions of money, because their future is very precious than what you can give them now. And by that's what's happening right now. Valuable things, valuable things, yes. So I think where lakini ndako yenye ko mubuko migango takune notakune notakune tukoli goro ina mutaka sometime notakune tukoli I think kidogo kwa ndio bwansi mbiyama ndaruzili bwa mubuko nye twera matatu ngoire ina ngoire ndanyo za chancere ndangana zana value. I was looking to that. So we are in a generation, by the way, we are beyond the sweet things, because even Devians, we could last for a short period of time. And that is what we have realized as young people, that even Devians, including the handout in even Devians, but if you give me 10,000, but if you give me an idea on how to raise that 10,000 monthly, it will sustain me for generations and generations, which means something valuable. So this program at no point able to change the mind of the youth, because we are focusing saving to bien. Cannot. Before we go to the material talk on study, like it that people to understand. And this how maybe we wanted to do things. We have Idodinga. She has been given a job. Barosi. Atakuwa anaitwa Barosi Mama Hida. Daktari pia. Ni daktari pia. Daktari atakuwa anaitwa Barosi daktari Mama Hida Odinga. Watu wengi wanamheshimu na asiro mwaka anaita for many years. Ohiroba o Barosi ambassador.
What's your take on that? Is there what youth?
Well, number one, that is what we call regional politics, Brighton. And you realize, by the way, His Excellency is somebody who is really very strategic when it comes to politics. You know, so at the end of the day, after they go bring the votes of the Luo people in one pot. You see? So what's happening? If you realize the recent incidents Chanarako happened, Okoranga, honestly, Nanana Okoranga Mama Ida was left aside. You saw those teams, the Wanga team, and they go everywhere. They're like, you know, the Odinga family was sidelined in a way. But again, the president is so wise. Akaranga, but all along these years, the Luo community has been standing because of the Odinga's family. So even if these governors lied to me, at the end of the day, so the president knew the only thing I can do to accommodate all these things, to even, by the way, shame our against the Odinga's family, it is to bring this mama on board. So, according to you, according to me, is the right thing to do at this age, at this time. But anyway. There are some people, there are some Kenyans. Of course, there are some Kenyans. There are some youths. Now, that's why I said it was for just regional politics. He wanted to accommodate Chikura Chiavanda. According to you? Otherwise, if you could have done it right, this position could have gone to somebody else. By the way, and then people are arguing this for being a politician. But they are Dangaida. She was doing the crying. And then Abono, I've seen that you know what and got in gear. I don't think so. No, position you and by the way, at the end of the day, Brighton in Channel is going. Can you say Mama Ita Gonanja? Atafutaye ajoki na akichoka ameshapa iko taranyora. You see, Brighton, you know that's not a 1+1 position. I know, I understand. That's not a 1+1 position. I know. No what escort, no what convoy, no what Mojara, I don't know, 2.5 billion plus the allowances, no what Okane. You are the representative of the country. Yes. Okane gari yako orochebe kirie bandera ikakapende. Kemosi. Alifanya makosa? Kemosi oma. Baba yiwa kama kwa chairman baju birwa nawe. Igonga Kemosi oma itewa. Kemosi is still young politically. Chi position inchirora agree by the way when you are young politically. But Mangi agreed to go to Mangi kiathi but yeah, na to transfer na bedria signed to Belgium. Mangi is my best friend, by the way. He's our friend, yes. He's our best friend. Yeah, yes. But then, let me ask you this question. Even if Mangi Akaiwo ambassador, but he's still coming to us as the UDA is not going to elect a candidate. At the end of the day, by the way, UDA will have a candidate in Kisii, and I'm seeing Mahangi, what is the name? Mahangi coming on board. Mahangi still has political interest. Wana Mahangi tarutamento koruta gasoba, nanda garoba, nanda gasama. What would be so hard? I want to treat that like a rumor. Okay, I might not be a prophet of doom, but I'm seeing that coming. Mahangi still has political interest. He's still young. Politically. Politically is young. Politically is. Do you think that the statement Zairi Janda was from UDA or was from? Zairi Janda is a political non-starter. He doesn't understand anything to do with politics. Okay. What do you mean? Yes, Zairi Janda is a businessman. This statement, maybe it was not from UDA party. It was from. Where did he? By the way, when you talk on behalf of the when you talk on behalf of the party that we as the party we are not going to field a candidate. From the Gusii region, all these people are we are not. We have to have not just waking up. We are in broad based. We are in a broad based. We are not going to. When you hear such statements, chitara organized. There it means whoever who is giving them out is a political unstarted, doesn't understand anything to do with politics.
Tuira nase Mama Ida. Oirubonekero. Mama Ida, we have seen that there's fights in the party of ODM. And in a sense, the party leader, no Mogaka in any position as a politician, Tori Winnie Odinga, or the names of the no Abanko, about to Esani Kabisani, and this as a politician, Kevo. Mama Ida, about any position to cool down the temperatures.
Yes, 100%. And by the way, Mama Ida, the Dawa. You go through that heat. But do you know why?
I don't know.
Do you know why? That's why he's accommodating that young energy to his team.
Are you sure?
Yes, very sure. That's why he's bringing the voice by the sideline with the other team.
Do you want to say that Mama Ida is supporting Sifuna Babu?
Oh, yes.
How?
How? You can even see it at the interaction. You know, you can even see it when Mama was hugging Sifuna Komatewinga, you know, that was a good sign. I'm embracing you. You get? At the same time, look at the sentiments Winnie gives. You know, added directly
from the mother.
Oh no, Kiangonda Kowori. Yeah? Umwanoli was never linking about to the last point. And let us talk about a mantle. So do you think anything against the family? It cannot. No. So her voice is a mama's voice.
Okay, maybe. I will work on another, but for me, I cannot just try because
no, that's for me.
That's for you.
That's for me.
And maybe you understand. And then now, Oburu Odinga. Because he has been given an ambassador, Mangana ambassador. Oburu Odinga has called for family meeting. I saw somewhere now the another get the attend Olengonera Tara picture we had to them aware and say Kiale Nera Koma Chubure somewhere Nino Lengo and somebody Wera say Kamangi. Even now, even when you can look at it, Naboma Corona and Young Yongo, Nere Meta Young Yongo once he was given an acting party leader AU, as you can understand. Kinero Komach Corona. Ametulia kidogo ababale saidi mbabo ajira yako nobody employed for kowaya ono kama kuburani he has called for a family meeting maybe dumadi wa jo discuss ndora brem trend lakini no wache meeting yo bro dingeroje buna ba coordinate jinsa segaiga Bachi Jivenge Biawino Dinga who was supposed to go for a family meeting. Oburu Dinga.
Of course.
Mama Ida.
Generally, maybe according to the culture and the traditions, of course, let's say Oburu in charge of the family as a whole. You know, so maybe he has all the rights to call for the family meeting. But do you think this family meeting will bear any fruits as we are seeing things now? You know. And by the way, the only problem that ODM no install Oburu as the party leader, you know. If that thing could have been done like, constitutionally and not family member, then I believe that political party could still be strong to date. So the only problem about politics are about everything in the Caribbean ODM, it was not born in boardrooms and what have you. You see? So these people, they are trying to change the strength that has built this party to make it something shaggy and shoddy. But at the end of the day, what will matter? It is the voice of these ODM people from the NDC, not even the family meeting, by the way. The family gathering can only solve Chi family, but not Chi political party. So I still see there is not going to be any agreement within these two families if it matters concerning the political party. But if it is matters concerning the family, it can be solved.
Listen, Joshua, to get us the standard, we need to do some preview upon a careful to a Sara Canaraos, to make us in because we have something to say about yesterday tutaya ekanserie ya mali ngwaro jo what happened emrai the former deputy president katika shower na itideke bawaria agatama kweli kweli bono gasete the standard yard said golikana the president stop this now ya na asema ngana yonse pia betalia ya na responsibility nigere ultimately rests with President William Ruto. What can you say about that one? Ge Joshua Rusi gaseti hiyo nyetiga Joshua gaseti ina bego President stop this. What's what happened this?
But again, no matter Brighton, it is so wrong to put the claim direct. President, stop this. Number one, this is not when let me say it is wrong for the standard to quote it that way, because honestly, Brighton, understanding that the president is the symbol of nationalism.
Yeah, that's it.
Is really the symbol of Yom Marembe. So when people again seeing the same it's putting up president, stop this. The number one. You know, we are not living in Congo, we are not living in Somalia and those places. We are living in a country and by the some of these things this political intolerance. Brighton, some of these local leaders, you know, they try even to fight themselves, they try even to do things their master, they can work things well on the ground. And by the way, you can be surprised into the person you are blaming, the president, is not even aware. Ncheno mochumbe koru odaya. Nimbato mojumbe onde koru, nimbato montono tate mojumbe koru odaya. Kosi nindo mojumbe koru odaya inde in a certain political party. Na inche nindo masena za koru odaya inde from a certain political party, maybe affiliated to the government. So what I will do, nko ikang nde tefurugu ngaroki masa ya nenga, nga rega na bako kane bedroom yomundu, nga bado nto kwa te seiga. But again, you get even some of these orders. The president such an order is not really aware of what's happening. But when it happens, the national, we call them national political figures. The likes of Rigathi Gachagua, you know, the likes of all these people, the likes of Matiang'i. Whenever it picture blamed to their level, and to their level is the head of the nation. So to me, these things, His Excellency the President should really talk. Some of these are the junior leaders to tell them intolerance is not the way to. You know, things can be done properly and in a good way. Honestly, those are even cases. I mean, so to me, honestly, I can say if you follow keenly what happened yesterday, you can't really tell the President of the Republic of Kenya can order something of such a kind to be done. I really doubt.
Lakini mono ekereninga liabe bunaiga utuprem.
Now,
and whatever city at the standard,
so who do we need to blame? We need to blame our leaders. You know, for intolerance. We need to blame our leaders. These things that happened in Odaya, by the way, Ekavanta was scrutinized from all those members of parliament from Nyeri County, specifically Odaya and some other surrounding constituencies. You know, we can't blame the president. How do we begin to blame the president who just hide there and yet on the ground? So what needs to be done? I saw the Minister for Interior gave an order, you know, investigations, Chikoro. That is the protocol that should be followed. But again, investigations started to convince the mind of the common mananchi a positive results. This was not, the government was not involved in this. But the government came to save the situation. In order, to see the picture of the president from that scenario. But if they will not, if they'll just do investigations and vanish, then still manage na
Yes, as a youth politician, What can you say about this scenario yarogatu alias can said yesterday abana ngora na so far investigation tumanya was playing that. What can you comment about that?
Well, my comment is very positive on it, Brighton. And by the way, it was not even the youth who was doing those skirmishes. By the way, we are in a times the youth are not doing violence. There is a difference between goons and youths. So abantu mbabasa kwira that picture na chiguni na basa mbakora tebizuri bando kareka
Mune chiguni bale
ali ni chiguni cyane
eguni gotware bondoki
One of my I mean we have chile buje chiguni ni chinga eguni nere yo muhiwe eguni nere
was a advanced goons.
It was a professional goonism anyway. But by the way, we are not quite to that thing of Chibunduki. But what are they? We see, we have security men. You know, we have security personnel. But again, Brighton asked myself this question. As much as sometimes you can blame the government. One na achire, for instance, na achira sigetenga matari na nyorenga chikuni nchiroro, you know, mbabwate meyumbu nyokibara abantu. And the police officer, what should I do? No, stop, figure. Number one, I must come armed because of my safety at the same time. Because I think I'm very prepared. So I must be armed. Number two, I will look for the means to disperse this crowd. The only mistake that happened, it was to throw that can, which you can is in, you get. But again, security-wise, it was one way to disperse the cons. You see, but so we need really to give it. We need really to give it a two-way.
But kifo karugudi kribukeli. Ndora abantu bari kuruta magena, but you can see Estonia or but indora giri beke kende. Karuta giri beke kende galia basikani neurological inalia. So, but you can discuss it. Take to a coordinate out of the because that's I would like to know. So, because in me, you understand it. Just in Bruno, then on the you probably said me Bushmua, near Bronga Zudi, now the one just Rango got out there, Conasisi, out there, Brescian, to make a file there, but Conasisi, but no more Goem, Galia, Nerenani. Murigio Jacqueline kwamboka wata ndani ya show watu wajitume bakore mirimo buneta kere kikima ntwabora titi boli elialia nana ki ekaro twakwanira tobikeli nidoje na the National Border Service NPS has said no injuries were reported following the incident at St. Peter's CK Judge in Witima Otaya. According to the National Border Service there was no injuries. Why do they call injuries? And we show them
there were injuries, of course. It's only that.
But the police have said there were no injuries.
Well, the police remain to be the police.
Okay, but how do you measure injuries? Because you cannot do.
The police remain
to be the police.
Those are injuries.
We need reports from those two. Because now, Montora asthmatic,
now we go cause death. Even if it's not instant death, but it can cause
understand
some chronic problems.
The police said there's no injuries that were reported during the incident of St. Peter's. Maybe Mondara and they have said that it was not reported. Ni naitwa serikali na serikali inakuwa na siri kubwa kweli kweli. Okay, sawa tuendelee kigima nataka kubona ndipo ndio tu hapo lina sara gaiga maambia nimetengelia juja kini kilipata tutaendelea ile ingeli kukwanira abu biye sana kefeka tukusuka ujibosio bantu bande tutubanchi chimbe cha twara korira abu ayo time but now tsara abu tai gashawa according to the press statement there were the 5 yesterday ada wa munyora ali was safe but probably tanga to anyo the deputy party leader cross mararo they have kidnapped my party leader there was something all over ono digati is claiming that ina yeye anandama kisiasa do you agree?
Of course, you know, when Akaroko is relevant to power, we got power and revealing they have power. You see? But the Brighton, for conduce si koragera, ngoki una. We can intend all means I still have the powers and the conduce in this position. Because literally, the Kikuyu, let me call them the mountain votes. By the way. And the Sotevani Kemane can say the seven. Onion did root out what interest to the mountain can very happen. But again, we're realizing that if he meets the vote, if he misses the vote from the mountain, then it will be so hard for him to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. You see? So all these things must be done. This is politics. You see? Gachagua is just a nobody to the government. We can oppress this man even from his hometown because we are still the one in government. You see? So this is not something new in Gachagua. Gachagua has been in administration for so many years. So he understands. This is politics and it must be done. Before you raise, you must go through several steps that Chitana.
From your side, some people are saying it was stage managed. Do you agree? Maybe it might be
really no.
For political sympathy. You are a politician sometimes. One of the youth leaders could see get sometimes
that was not stage managed. That thing number one from your area region where you have support, you know, where you know that what the confidence you have. But as an I go stage managing. I was saying I'm Kirigadi and go just saying Kisum. I'm going but now from your hometown, it doesn't make sense. And then number two, it's not really you can't do that. You know. Number three, we still what happened exactly. But you see there are speculations in you know, no opposition, you know.
Still investigation.
So still investigation is correct. So we cannot stand a chance that this thing was stage managed. So we need to wait for the relevant authorities to do the investigations. Was this thing stage managed? Was it involved Nichigun? Was it Gachagua behind it? But for now, really with the things we saw, from the area, we can't say that it's something managed.
Apart from being judge, we are heading to chair election year next year. And now people are fearing that what about in a political rally? For instance, you can remember to the instant you have to stadium. That Monday or I think that the so people are fearly. As people have just fearing like get to go to Bantabe cancer. Termontarica, the Anatevon of Trumoraya and the Gansaya. Satar do Diagas. Nakuro was yet to Oscar. In case I got the Kirokora, because no opposition, not a Kirikoa, security saying, Ayokwana Ogende. What do you think the government should do so that it's a blame game. The opposition is blaming the government, and the government is blaming opposition. And Fahari wawili wakipigana nyasi ndio naumia. So in this case, the common mwananchi ndio anaumia. You see? Kwa kulia ya bantu miete gari Gachagua no miete. Kwa kwalo chali etalinga amunani wa munyoro safe. But abantu mbale balaria bali nyakitari. And the bad get the jukundu
abantu mbale you know
Adir jingoma.
Adir jingoma.
No gustoka guoka.
No gustoka guoka. Abantu bali mate kanisa it's a congregation y'abantu abantu.
Yes.
Bali bate pressure. Bali bate sukari. So ekosi yakora kanetegari. Let me say emotional toja yakora kanetegari ya ringene. So the common mwananchi at the end of the day nero kumia. So my request actually ngitongere wata bagabu ngomuntu na abanga tekero muraya ande kanisa ya. To me that can be the best solution. That can be the best solution. Why? Because we've reached a point in each country to Brighton, they are playing a role to the divisive politics change. You get you cannot allow a politician omwe amagabawa chatenene then anga criticize the government then anga ko from the altar. Then what does it mean? The whole church has been turned to be a political forum. Then what do we expect in a political forum? You don't expect the Holy Spirit in a political forum. You expect tons of tear gases and disruption. You see, so every political leader, if I don't go to church, let me not go to go cause trouble in somebody's place by the name of Unganekani language. You get? And by the way, it could be good if they can hold the church services in their residences as they have been doing before. Anyama munyora tigabe kewa munyora church yari. Anomo nene wenze. Erende kare national symbol unity nzokanya kumulimit.
Era jekanti.
Era wana tigande chikanisa renda radio marembo kwa no manene wenze.
Moi na gaje kansa bol. Moi ngata gaje kansa ayo.
Mate kero mondo na bate imani ya ono mwinjilisti.
Ekili moi kero kora ragi moi.
Ono moi taringe mwinjilisti Brighton.
No engi
ono mwinjilisti. Ono mwinjilisti na leo goda anga toko mweka nsabu. Kuikata ale kuikata.
That's very fine. Gato ndo de akima. Lakini ndio want to rub. If you can see some clips tadi mtandao. We had a funeral. I think it's going to cross, but you will be knowing this. Not what a funeral, ya lenge to judge enough. People now have started talking about protocol.
Yeah.
I think you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tuaroje, oyonde. Nyororo. Yeah, you know those. Eke tukiriki alko kendera. Abuke kwa the fracas in that. Amatanga weta attended by Governor Sibarat. Witata readers. Nakito toko kuru muchando yo.
Muchando yo toko nyokora in this Brighton.
Because now we are laughing more aspirants.
Yeah.
And
Abantaba, let me use. I'm not into kukwane kegasobe, but in Brighton honestly. It's not about the longevity. The majority thing how long we are in a certain field, you know. So you cannot be described by the age. And like race, by the way. You cannot be a leader before, you know, and then you don't honor protocol. In position. What is that? That is what we are. That's what we are fighting to stop. You see? Brighton. At the age of, let's say, 32 years old.
Yes.
Tumela ni na forum no mundo kete kwa aspire koba MP agonjai. Ubwate miaka 80. Over in leadership before. You know. Ekale kwa in leadership before. If you never had fruits, if you never showed people fruits, you see, at no point should you condemn me just by my age. You should respect me in that position. So what happened in Kitutu North? Number one, that guy was so right. The Nyororo guy, MCA, he was very correct and right. And I want to thank Naro Chavara Ikromura Yogokwana Badanga Komo support. You know, he was right. He was right as the member of county assembly. Nere a protocol Kuwati Nero Wargani Muchumba, never Muchumba you know, the governor.
Yes.
You cannot be an aspiring MP because you're thinking in leadership nini abanongo bwate nga mali siasa tebwati masikani siasa tebwati masikani amasikani awaera mu abane familia yao lakini tupasa kanyareta is the political forum.
Yes.
So this is where we should respect one another. Even if I'm 15, even if I'm 20 something years old, but I'm still the one abananchi bachoreta bakambeka in that position. So you wait until 2027 kama sakara gombe kama masakarane yorogocho igo that is batinga kongea kura na makondo yani at your age aikwabere kwaligirie kirogo kwabere matanga gwachira mange baka kombu nkinande mukyokumurere microphone.
They are needed one by the way, so people should follow the protocol.
People should follow the protocol, and that's what we are following. Ikina kintu ndogiye affect wako DMSI. Akaba ndo affiliating ngantwana na abagaka na batokora wise decisions. Akira na bakora wise decisions score set. To konya abo ngobore inactive.
Okay, you turende ingana the we are just doing generally romantics and politics. Na ingana ndira kefu as a youth the liberals are in the country kiskungo grade 10. The government of the day is insisting that they are in school. Are there principal na accommodate abana ona yuzi gwethinga kituwa accommodate abana bali bachire bali buya nini grade 10 masomo tarachaga lakini serikali igwezita masomo achakire kwa even nani aliongea jana hapo the goodness yao ni lingo forward within CS ogamba kwandi when they were na umujango wa kigogi PH area yesterday then ba redirect na bana ba in school bonds please I wondering if they were accommodate abana ba ntubwati into bisaine. What's your take on this?
That's terrible. It's really terrible, and I don't think young the best way government to take it up. Brighton for the last weeks nanarengo korara ntokanga school outreaches in Nakuru County, and I've seen it all. Let me tell you,
you were in Nakuru?
Yeah, I was in Nakuru for the last 2 weeks. And I can tell you these heads are really suffering.
The principals
are suffering. Imagine, number one, there are not enough facility. In terms of classes. Number two, there is no enough accommodation. Interview fani Brighton no kana mwana wote unga ngende school sara ngiri mwana akawete kurugusiga lakini ana ngiri school Kakamega. So which means one of my what's happening maybe batagete bana bana babanga bakomba chinyumba nga chikomrede mapema. I understand. So which means automatically mwana ngane boarding yokomo. So you are telling mwana yanga school there is no even egetanda go chikolare. Number 3, there is not even enough meals to sustain in a specific school. So what does it mean? You see, again, to be very honest and clear. Number 1, again, the scale down. To no kidi kwa korera matem panaranga kwa rich school kwa terunga nakiona yang divisional schools, district schools, provincial schools, and then national schools. You get Brighton. If I never managed to to the provincial school nere anega kenyoro erini ntaka ne school fees principal ne matenga mama mwabo ya kagasinkara okara at the end of the day na babo kara achakan kwarere it is things run smoothly kwarere rather than gotomo mwanafunzi koruga gaba Kakamega na principal te komanyiti temo manyiti there is no way you can convince this person. So the government could have brought this thing down to the ground level, and then from that point now I got a key genda which is school especially the day schools. At the end of the day, we were na school for 1 week, and I got a conda amore uniform, and I got a conda amakanere ibituma nichinyende umwana rage. But now you are telling me umwana all the way from Korea and Naruko school. How will it happen? So the government still with that directive, even if they push it, it will still be so hard for so many parents.
Okay, the future yabasa since you Kenya, Kisi County, the future
yabasa, it's let me say it's pregnant. But again, it can only be birthed if others are very outside of the box. Basically, in a recent incident, others are very because we are headed now to the political season, to political camps. From that end, from this end, then that as the youth, we are killing our future. And let us not decide. You know, by the way, I feel so sad, Brighton. Photographer, social media manager. But again, with that person everywhere, when you post TV, or work and but if you go to find someone, you will shed tears. You know, you will shed tears. And this is what these political leaders are now inspiring to the young generation. It is not about having an iPhone 17. It is not about I mean, all those things, and yet something funny. Yeah. What we should do as the young people, the generation here, we need to be focused. And by the way, if we cannot go with that mood, Gen Z, we still things will still be the same. Number one, let us register ourselves as voters.
That's it.
Young people, let us register ourselves as voters. Number two, we have a very short period to the general election. Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. The voice is the voice of the people, not the voice of the government. So if at the end of the day, we still have a democratic right. But let us say no to handouts. That is what is killing us. That is what is killing us. Now, team, you get. So we are tumechanganyikiwa because nangaki wakwande chiri komi at the end of the day. Chiri chikomi kama yakabanyara bonsipi. Friday no bako to kana segete mokao mu ya chionsipi. So we are building our future, and the only way we can build our future, we register as voters
and go
and vote, and don't vote because because your relationship but because we want to make the future to be good to us.
Kisii County, as the youth president, Kisii County, being a 2026, the consensus youths, as since Mende, in terms of support, look at USAID, youth there's a American WHO. Support for somebody this as USAID, but now, Kenya, what are plans? Support was a
lot of plans that Jire set in place because we realize Brighton, we need to work with our own resources.
That's it.
We need to work with our own resources because all these sponsorship and funds, and by the way, Brighton, if our leadership having here, we have enough resources in our country that can make us to grow. And by the way, Singapore, it's real. If we use the resources that we have and say no to corruption and say no to anything that might hinder our progress, then Singapore is real. Now, we have a lot of plans in place. Number one, we want to intend to do what we call mass voters registration. It can again get beneficial other than another program. Mass voters registration. So we are planning to move to all the 45 wards in Kisii County and do youth forums and sensitize others on the good Yokonyara with Tambulisha as a voter. You know. And then number two, we are trying to, of course, lobby some other organizations. You know, my Nyasaya ko seseni umuntu nere okuriji. You cannot just sit down and think Nyasaya seseni. So we want really to feel almost like okisio very accommodated in all ways. And it cannot be money-wise, it can be idea-wise, but only those who will be willing. We want to tend to do programs in all the 45 wards as well. That for instance, if we go to Umachoge Chache, we see in Umachoge Chache, what works better in Umachoge Chache? Is it agriculture? Is it poultry? Is it, all those stuff? Then now we know the kind of youth groups in Umachoge Chache. Then we now begin what we call a merry-go-round amongst these groups. Just money circulation amongst our own groups. Because if we depend we get funding and sponsorship from some of these organizations, so even if you write a proposal, it will take even 1 year for to be approved. So by the time you come 1 year approved, we karakalina nayo manyane progress mwakorire mwasimikira matoke tuachangiriga mwasimikire kwagore twagorera ni piki. So at the end of the day, we need to empower ourselves. So in 2026, what we are planning, beyond the government, beyond non-government organizations, we want to stand in a chance that we can empower ourselves as young people.
Yes, achievable?
Very achievable, but again, I cannot say they can be 100% achievable because we live, honestly, Brighton, we live in a time of actually doing even these youth forums, it becomes very hard because even it becomes a problem. When you give a call to the youth in charge of constituencies and what allowance in and for instance, like 600 once. So it has the positive side and the negative side of it.
We have around 15 minutes to wind up as Mambi Yavonia. And to get it against the bright. These people complaining that hakuna maendeleo. Nini badana breast and D1 term kwa na nini patuko makonyorere kama mkutano na Kisi stadium. Bali. Abakora chishara na sasa hakumina kikia change abantu bako complain because asing batama ite ose reality tayo. Why do you think so? Because state
we have a word you describe tumbocrats.
Baka wananchi kawaida.
Wananchi wa kawaida barabwe bakoti. Mati mwananchi wa kawaida tari kwenye opportunity yuko kwa nini political forum. I go transport yende. Na ndo kwa gasti ya Brighton. Nubwa tama na batano. Warangiri mukuzana waderu. Bana batano sembolo tebara gere mara weki disha tie teba 1 time, teba 2 time. Kwa it is people are looking for means to get something at the end of the day.
Reality
yeah, we are going to see the reality set now. People, as I said, people are exposed. But then wakikuja mukule. Lakini mupige. But it's happening, believe me.
Where?
Believe me this time around Brighton. Even around, and by this not just Mwananchi alone, we even have some political leaders. One of, for instance, somebody like, I'm sorry to say, Mutai, what's the name? Mutai Kago. Is it not Mutai Kago, the governor of Nyeri?
Mutai Kahiga.
Mutai Kahiga. So, do you describe that person as really a leader with good leadership qualities? Because he is a tumbocrat. Because all along, I call him a tumbocrat because all along, you stand saying that you are defending the former deputy president. And then you are heard everywhere, in every news platform, you are against the current government. You are talking things against the President of the Republic of Kenya from a distance. But when the president comes to your region, you are again the same person. Na si mnajua mimi niko wapi, niko chama gani? What are you telling us as a leader? We are beyond that. We are exposed. We are that is what we if no muliro. You know, kabasam. And that is what we are fighting to the end. They're the same people who are going to intoxicate your bongobwa, now you want to show us you are here, you are here, you are here. So where is your stand at the end of the day? If you are in supporting two-term, let it be known you are supporting two-term. If you are not there, let it be known that you are in one term.
Okay.
But think your president you know, change a tune. Those are the kind of leaders we are setting aside one.
We have 2 months to election. Bonjana leo no karo you still karo kungina ni video. You have seen that G promise je chali yetu chikirane kisi county and Nyamira. I've heard that the president might come. But the end of the project the jira sukake cancer center, hostel, na chitoro. Ekumnyuki sana cancer center ro window baby akoli. There's some houses support housing that get the communicasi get some things in the bureau and then suneka you believe that in a development here is a coherent in terms of or coherent in the completion konye usi and do you answer yeah coherent before the direction and
even the number one by the way bianga coherent na bianga konye usi for instance if you let me call it the south region. We have Makori, we have Homa Bay, we have Kisii, we have Nyamira. Basically, Brighton, all along, Kisii County has been shining in terms of infrastructure, in terms of collection of revenue, in terms of. But again, basically, when development began to go to some of these regions, honestly, some other places, they were far beyond Kisii. But as we are speaking right now, but at least we've seen a tremendous change. You know, tremendous change in terms of, you know, business, in terms of, you know, even politics. Let me tell you, for instance, number one, we create job opportunities.
That's it.
Number one, economy yagusi and of course never had a political view of it. Number one, we go change from that region, especially to this president from that end. And by the way, Brighton, right now what the president should do in Kisii region, it is not even to do these political forums, I don't know, some of these the only thing Linda from the ground, it is to give these people development. If they will see development, then they will put trust in him. Just about words, actions. Again, what you will determine. Yeah.
Do you believe that they will make it?
Well, to some extent, now we go Okobayaki. Now we're going in Gusii compared to some other places. Number one, because we are now, you know, we have a presidential candidate. You see, and now every focus.
We have 2 presidential candidates.
Presidential candidate. Anyway, it is a political. I mean, it's democratic, right?
Yeah, it is.
But anyway,
we have to political.
By the way, we have to
presidential candidates.
It's not easy, by the way, and congratulations to him. It's not easy to take that and
yeah.
So, being that we are a political aspirant from our region, so the president must make sure out of 100%. Maybe 40%. You know, if he takes 40%, that's a win to him.
That's it.
That's a win to him. And the 40% will not come out of some of these members of parliament will not come out of whatever 1 term and 2 term. It will come out of the development that will be real on the ground.
Okay. There's some people who argue that the careful, but it's not time. Even the president, the governor, the MCs, or the women lab, it's not the time that you need to promise people. Kora biri wachagete. Ora bigora tuma kubanga ujusi abunto kwane. Kwa hiyo the promise na wana nitawajengea barabara ya Mosomi kufika mahali fulani. They are arguing that dinner. Tigango no muntu oteta kunyege simara siatara ikunya. Tigara ikunya.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know, you cannot promise something on your throne to fulfill a promise quite before. Number one, mundu otaka nyara go trust man. Kware. So make sure nga kwanyanje go kore yende deriwa tela the fast. Ando mare bata ete ando nga ma wanchara ko ara seriande school gite ko ara seriande bitogete, but to date they have not done it. But now what they are doing, they want a 2-term and 1-term and broad-based. You see, and saying mkituchagua mara ya pili tutafanya hivi. Kwa hivyo kabla mchaguliwe mara ya pili, hakikisha ya kwamba mmekamilisha na mmefanya zile ahadi ambazo mliahidia wananchi. Mkishazifanya itakuwa rahisi kuahidia kitu kingine ndo wawape imani yao. But before that it will be a day dream. That's not gonna happen. So ukiona kiongozi yote anatoa ahadi sahihi na hajakamilisha ahadi yenye aliahidi before, that's not going to happen.
Asomra wewe zero jere because you had to promise and part of the promise Singapore. Omara wewe na bonja nora rose okanyigeta
Wanchari I'm still there. You know, we are Brighton. The road to success still under construction. You know, so we are not going to leave these positions to anybody else, all of us, and whoever feels like coming in. We are in these races to just communicate to our generation that, come on, we can still do it, we can still be in these positions, we understand ourselves, we know what we want. So at the end of the day, it will be easy for a man like me to lead Wanchari in a better way, because the majority of so many people in our country, they're the young people. So we understand the challenge to weather, we understand the problems to weather. And by the way, I was even saying sometimes back, Maneno Mabungo Wanchari sa hii alenge kwa manifesto anana abuate before na waengo chakula na kwa mjumbo Wanchari. But now because he has done nothing, I still believe there is still a gap, and I need to come in and make things to be straight. And I know Wanchari, they loved me, you know, they about that thing, you know, just kiria ke miaka 5 yokora abana bara na asinini, you know. My brother interviewing kama chi yasana rola abe kuna ndo na Mosomi mendire weikire bana so even to say one void. And so I'll be there. I'll still vie as a member of parliament come 2027. I don't know which political party, but I am still there. And mine, it is not personal. It's not about Kevin. It is about the youth of Kenya, that we can do it better than how some other people think.
Listen, ujumbe auja sawa sawa na bantu bagusi kwa jumla nelie karo korura ni wako.
Ujumbe ane sawa sawa, especially bagusi 20p. Niringa all of us ntuna sawa abamo. Ndo basa wanja divisive politics. Enya rekota separate. You know, politicians they have their self-interest. But we live as brothers and sisters. Siasa nero ronja rengo robi for, you know, so it will come and go, but we will remain to be brothers and sisters. Let us embrace one another, tupendane, we share opportunities, we share ideas, and we make the world the better place for us all.
Your closing remark?
My closing remarks nkeringa tonyare koba abantu tomenya tena morembe tonyare gwancha nyasaye nande tonyare gosemani ntwa 20 nande mono kabisa tonyare gwanchana intwe na seintwe nande tonyare koyanderera kurigiriria getaseni yetu yeta ya TV erinde tonyare konyora some of these enlightful conversations erinde tonyare go stand in a position of making the right decision as young people, because we hold the future in our hands, and the moment it will be the end of us. But that's why we have stations like Eta TV to just put a limelight and to give us a direction and a voice on what we're supposed to do. And so we appreciate you, Brighton, together with Sarah and the whole team at Eta TV. You're really doing the best to make sure the community should stand and know what is happening and what should be done.
Nigalenge mheshimiwa Kevin Mosomi na ndio mwinjilisti ale kweli ale mwinjilisti kweli na bobo limonto mutari kansa ya ekoba ya Gesonso Kigima tushiriki naye pamoja siku moja
LBC Kenya.
Yeah, that's very nice. Kigima ntuose dirima basonge debajete gaya kora mutarira. I think one day bagoja nande we lost them. Yeah. Pia Kevu for getting time. It's a Monday, a political Monday. We have discussed some issues. Nande ento endre ko kwana amange as chinga kichiro jibosyo. Awakirimbia mana karawaja kuri ta television ro bagusiku na bali kwitiri ko basa okiri ko na sinsema je konaria simu gusunya njago ntebune skuru ne ya yetabwe yemo akonte ina ne ya yetabwe yemo bono no achire go chiabu kwena kibuna atore deira mangana ndine skuru ya mura ya magena ngo ya yetubo tukubo kira rero so akwapo era ujo tubwa de dinganerio asimambi gyabo nabali kimetu basokirigo genda ko bwati ta television rero bro gusi igana mange tukoroberete kurbono bakari gorobe asiji program chito ndubwate kwana neta iyo jaka chinsa isano jabono mambia Diana Gisoi na asaira sisi bakora dero murobiri yo bagondo twara mangana maya tutware kashi yera murobiri right up bagondo tware chingero bunyangero na man bebe sagero bagondo twana nda mangana maya ne program jitu chinyinge ngakere chimwengi be yana kira mali gune chibichago chira sinjira yabene ekatware gina Joseph Mogoto kwa sense mo ye camera Joshua udangura sasa ya transmission kwa niaba ya Mama Africa Sara Nyondita endingana yeda brosho tunashukuru sana tukutana hapo kesho tutakapokuwa na mjadala wa siku hiyo ambapo ni kesho Jumanne kwa nenda sebono tiamba kirimbe mono ya sao hiyo unapotambiriane Brighton Makori.